Hello, teachers, amazing, wonderful teachers. Welcome to week 3 of Analysis of Human Resources. I just got finished reading your discussion posts, fabulous ideas, a lot of good dialogue. And hey, do me a quick favor, make sure that when you're replying to a colleague, that you're actually like saying, "Hi, Joe. Hi, Billy. Hey, Melanie." That way, when I'm reading it, I can kind of make sense of your comments in Canvas. So if you could do that, that'd be super helpful for me. I'm just giddy and nerdy, in the sense that I really enjoy seeing that dialogue there. So kudos to you, and I'm glad that it actually worked this week. Hopefully that continues to be the case. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this week. And I will share my screen. There we are. So we are in week 3, regional workforce needs and career pathway trends. So last week we kind of looked at the kind of global competency environment. And now, as I say, we're going to zoom in from the global to the national, to your local and your region. So this week, you are going back and looking at those North Coast 99 presentation information, the winners, you're doing all that kind of stuff because you're gearing up for what is going to happen in just a couple weeks, which is you looking, you producing your own report. You're looking at some occupational data that's localized, and most importantly, you're looking at those Ohio means job centers, right? And so you're being asked to interact with them and get some information as we develop connections that are community centered, right? So we talk in education all the time that, especially career technical education is really locally driven. That's why when I'm out in the middle of beautiful countryside, I see a lot of agricultural programs. And when I'm in more urban environments, I see different programs, right? Not that we can't do it all, but it's meant to make connections to our local community. You're building the next workforce. What an amazing job you have. So yeah, so go ahead and read all those materials. They should be up to date and should be relevant to you. And then you are doing discussion 3, which is what are the top 3 future occupations in your region, and how is your program preparing students for them? So I can't remember off the top of my head. It was a great comment. I think it was Josh who talked about the fact that we should be preparing students for what happens next. And we talk about that in higher ed all the time. And in career technical education, although that's a goal, we're behind sometimes. I mean, and it makes sense why we're behind. I mean, we're dealing with middle school and high school students who, you know, in reality, we want them to have basic skills and we want them to get those technical skills, but it's really hard for us then to make the jump to what's happening next. So it's really through those connections that we make in the private sector and in our local community that helps to bridge the gap between what we're capable of doing in the classroom now and what we hope to do in the future. So that's one of those strategies we do or have in order to make that gap lessened. And you as teachers are phenomenal, but the minute you walked into the classroom and away from the industry, your skills started to kind of step away from what the newest trends are in your industry. You can't help that, right? So again, we rely on those community partners to help bridge the gap. So I'd like for you to be sure that you're referencing materials that you're reading and interacting with this week. Try to make that graduate level connection. That would be super great. And then you are working on the Workforce Connection Report, which is due June 21st, okay? So what you've noticed is I'm kind of like introducing content, and then you have a little bit of time to do the major assessment associated with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Workforce Connection Report. Here we are, June 21st. So this is where you're going out or you're talking to the Ohio Means Jobs Career Centers. So I think we talked about this on our meeting that we had together, but you are given a list of questions. So that's the rationale behind it. Let me pull up. Here we go. So here are a list of questions you can add to or subtract. That is fine. But these are the types of things you want to know. What services do the One Stop slash Ohio Means Jobs, right? Provide eligibility requirements, services. I think I have that in there twice. Sorry about that. Must be really important. Have you ever visited? How can the resource support your students? And make sure you have a conversation about your program so they're even aware that you exist. And yeah, how can your program be a resource for the One Stop slash Ohio Means Jobs Career Centers? So that is the expectation. And again, make it a robust conversation, and then you're writing a report out on that. Nothing too fancy. Here's the rubric. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. So when you do your report, like I would, just copy this, give me your answer, do the second, copy, paste. That way I can follow along. Use these as headers, the questions, okay? All right. That's moving forward. Okay, so then what do you got on the horizon for this week? So you've got this week's discussion board, and then you have the Global Skills and Competency Report, which corresponds to the content from last week. I'm really excited to read those, actually. I think there are some pretty good opportunities for some good dialogue in there. So to stay on top of that as well. You guys are doing a fabulous job. I thank you so much for your good conversations. Give me a couple days. I'm going to try to tackle these in the morning. This assignment one, the Great Mismatch Report. But I might have to step away a little bit just so I can clear my mind. But you'll get feedback in the next day or two on that. As anything, as always, if you're having a question or concern, please just shoot me an email. We'll set up a time to talk. But keep growing in your skill sets and make connections to what this content is all about in your actual CTE program. All right, teachers, have a fabulous sunny week, and hoping you are on your first week of vacay, if not your second. But if you're not, it's coming. It's coming, I promise. Have a great week, you guys. All right, bye-bye.